Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in once again to the Duuuval Dive. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game of Fans First Sports Network. Glad to be on board with you here. And listen, OTAs are upcoming, and before we hit those, by the way, I know you guys by now have noticed that my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes, is not aboard currently. He will be back soon as he's on assignment, traveling with his family and doing all that good stuff. But he is expecting me back for OTAs on the 11th. We should hear from him then. That should be fun, to say the least. But as we approach those, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here with a lot of different movement. And we talked a little bit with the general Mike Patton about Smoot's return, them snagging a new linebacker, and a lot of things with Travis Etienne and that situation at the running back position. Lean Coen talking about him. And you guys had some comments and some things I wanted to address, not to mention before we finish up here, there's some things I wanted to react to that I saw last week that I don't think are getting quite enough dap out there first. But let's go ahead and come off the line here with this. Of course, this particular comment from Cedric Holmes 48 says, Gladstone wants to build a winning organization. He will do whatever it takes. Gladstone here's for us hardworking fans who spend money on tickets and merchandise. Yes, Etienne is for now, but if he doesn't perform well, he will quickly show the door. Gladstone wants a winner. See, here's the thing. And I think, by the way, thanks for the comment, Cedric Holmes 48. The piece that I think that we were missing, and I don't think we addressed it quite enough, the general and I, on the previous show. Of course, shouts to Mike Patton touring the AFC South. But there's the economic element of it too. Generally speaking, running backs are not a position that get paid for a lot in the NFL. Travis Etienne is good, not great. Do I think he will find another landing spot with another team in Jacksonville if he leaves? Yes. And I think a lot of that is because of the fiscal implication. Sure, I get that the NFL is expanding the salary cap here sooner than later, but think about all the players that the Jags have to pay for. We've talked about these guys, right? Trevor's deal is going to kick soon. Foye just got paid. Josh Hines-Allen, Tyson Campbell, just to name a few. There are other guys, though, who are looming as far as payment coming up, specifically Trayvon Walker. I'm not sure what space that the Jags don't continue to perceive without Walker. I think him and Hines-Allen are a duo that need to be kept together. And I think you're going to have to pay to do that. Some tough decisions going to have to be made. But if you are opting to separate the two, at this point, I feel like it would be one where I'm more inclined to part with Josh Hines-Allen instead of Walker. Maybe that's controversial. Maybe I need more time to analyze that. But the punchline is all the talk surrounding Etienne is fiscally based more than anything else. Do I think Etienne will perform well this year? Yes. Do I think he'll break 1,000 yards? Rushing, probably. If not all purpose, he'll do at least that. I feel confident there, especially in an offense that features Liam Coen as the head coach, right, with what's going on there. But I'm also seeing the writing on the wall that a committee system's in place. And if they're moving to a committee system, the chances of having a big money running back become even greater. So, yeah, I believe wholeheartedly that Liam Coen believes that he's a good player, Travis Etienne. I just don't know if any of that goes beyond this year. It's always rough when you're speculating a year ahead of time. But so that's really where that kind of ends with that particular piece. But there was another interesting comment that we got from YouTube here that I want to bring up now. See, Timothy Johnson 6074 left a comment on YouTube. Has anybody ever thought they might not like Tank Bigsby? Okay, first of all, Tim, thank you for the comment and the engagement. Tell me you've not been watching this show without telling me you've not been watching this show. Sir, I have been a fantastic critic of one Tank Bigsby. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if there's an odd man out right now on this roster, and I know they parted with Keelan Robinson already, so that's not on the table. He's gotten picked up by the Eagles, apparently, which, I mean, good for him, I guess, but he's going to be a depth player at best. You know, If you want to sit on the bench behind Saquon Barkley, you do your thing. I'm mad at it. Good for him. May he be successful. But Tank Bigsby has gotten my criticism ever since his initial drafting. I was still writing with Jaguars and SI. Shouts to my dude, John Shipley, when he got drafted, and I had questions. I didn't really appreciate that they used that pick on him at that spot either. There were other dudes I wanted more at the time. Don't ask me to remember them. That's 2 or 3 years ago now. The punchline is this. At this point, you see Bashal Tootin getting drafted. You see Hines-Allen, my favorite pick of the draft. I didn't say he's going to be the best one. I said he's my favorite one from a value perspective. I think Hines-Allen is going to contribute in a similar fashion to Tank Bigsby, but doing so as a 7th round pick is going to be awesome. Now, granted, I can guarantee nothing. I am not a soothsayer or a psychic, but I am a guy who sees that Tank Bigsby is the guy that they may not like. So, Tim, with your comment, has anybody said that? Yes, me. And also, too, my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes, has said the similar here on this show when he's aboard as well. So don't be surprised to see more of that. And by the way, this isn't me dissing your question. I'm telling you, you're getting it right if you're posing that question. So I can't front on any of that. So let's move on to this here next comment here, or this next topic, by the way. Now, I know it's always expected that when the Jacksonville Jaguars are the topic of conversation, that Travis Hunter isn't far behind. And listen, I know this is a bit of an old clip at this point, but I still wanted to comment on it. Let's start by playing this. Okay. So the blanket coverage here by Travis Hunter, which, sorry for the wind in the mic in the background, but like, Travis Hunter leaping up and making a stop that, and I have to say stop, more on that in a minute, in athletic fashion when he's playing defense, seeing evidence that the dual role player may in fact be a real thing is something that's going to get any member of the Duuuval excited, and rightly so. Now, here's the thing, and if you go to the tweet on the Jacksonville Jaguar Twitter account that has that, or any of the many retweets out there, whatever, there's so many people in the comments nitpicking, Kyle, or not just to me personally, but I had to say that it wasn't an interception, the ball touched the ground, and like they're all a bunch of stills in the comments. First of all, you make the bold assumption that the officials would have called it correctly after replay. That's not a guarantee at all in this league. How long have you been watching? Must be new here, I guess. But call it an interception or not, the athletic nature of the play for this young man to tip the ball that's underthrown and behind him because he's in the pocket of the receiver and just in blanket coverage, to tip it and then twist his body in wily fashion in a way that would make a ballerina cringe, to then cup his arms underneath this ball, all in mid-flight. You have to call it flight, I guess, because his feet are off the ground. Glide? I don't know. You pick the verb. That's cool. But all in flight to secure the ball. Now, granted, yes, it did touch the ground. Yes, if I saw that still in a replay, I'd be like, yeah, sorry, buddy. Great athletic play, but no interception. That being said, seeing stuff like that and that effort in camp is insane. Okay. And I get, we had the episode a while back about people being scared about the drama surrounding Travis Hunter and this contract situation. Make sure you check that out on the Duval Dive YouTube channel. But all of that being said, seeing that effort, that level of physical movement, paired with this guy regularly busting his tail out there in and after practice, getting extra work in, being at the facility at like 7 a.m. According to accounts, with Trevor Lawrence getting work in, catching up, and developing himself to be prepared as best he can, seeking extra work, knowing that his time is already going to be divided amongst the multiple spots he might be playing. I don't care if that ball was an INT or not. We're seeing stuff that needs to be seen from a guy that's trying to do what Travis Hunter is being asked to do. And yeah, I'm going to say it that way. He's being asked to be above and beyond. Maybe not just because of all the assets traded either, by the way, although I think that's a factor too. But yeah, this is what you want to see. I don't care if that ball was a pick or not. Stop it. We're talking about stuff you want to see or need to see from Travis Hunter earlier. Here's some other things that I'm glad I'm hearing. Of course, you were about to hear from Jacksonville Jaguars star receiver Brian Thomas Jr., BTJ. By the way, we keep seeming to forget that this dude is heading into year 2 himself, talking like he's a grizzled veteran and he's going into year 2. I think that's worth mentioning. But here's some of the stuff about what he says working so far with Travis Hunter in OTAs.
It's been pretty good, pretty fun. He's a fun dude. Super cool, I ain't gonna say that one. super cool, super fun. I mean, he's just a fun guy to be around. A lot of energy. Super fun.
Looks like y'all been competing in a lot of the drills just against each other, kind of pushing each other a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We compete in everything we do. We come out here each and every day, just coming out here striving to be the best.
You said before he was going to bother you, not stop talking and not stop asking questions to you. Has he gotten to that point yet?
Yeah, he been asking a lot of questions. But I mean, that's just him trying to be the best that he can be. Just like talking like through routes, talking through little things, plays, and why we run these certain plays versus these certain looks. So just like little things like that. I mean, he wants to be the best. We both want to be the best. So we just come out and compete each and every day, and whatever he needs help with, I'm gladly helping.
Okay.
So that's a lot of stuff to get to there. So let me start with this by saying, you saw him stop when he was about to say super chill, right? No, Travis Hunter has not been chill. If anything, he's been intense as hell. He's been trying to do that extra work and do what he's supposed to do and more, because he's going to be asked to do more, literally, than any other player at his, I guess, age at that point in his career than we've seen lately. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Okay. Moreover, I love the part where they're asking about asking questions. But I say that silly, but really with Travis Hunter talking about how he's just going to not stop talking with BTJ and learn everything he can, you did see and hear that BTJ is kind of approaching this situation as if Travis Hunter's kind of like a 2-year-old. Well, we're going to do this. Why? Well, because you do this. Why? Because there's a why? And the kid goes on and keeps asking why. Why? But isn't that exactly what you want at this point? He looks the part. Players are portraying him to sound the part in very specific ways that aren't necessarily scripted, right? This isn't a situation, very intense player like this, he wants to win, blah, 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 cliche. No! There's some genuine stuff to be picked out there. BTJ going this close to saying super chill and pulling back, be like, nah, that ain't it, dog. He wanted to use the cliches. He wanted to throw it. Nope. Can't go that way. So, and hearing has he gotten annoying yet with asking questions? Yeah, but that's okay. We want that. He had that moment of, yes, it would be nice if he just knew. But BTJ, in veteran fashion as a second-year dude, understands you don't just fall off the draft stage after dancing in a pink suit, knowing everything about the NFL and how it's different from college. So credit to him. And credit to the effort to Travis Hunter. Credit to you guys for your questions about stuff throughout the previous week. And hey, I'm glad everybody's having fun with my AFC South power vacuum theory so far. Hopefully that's a thing we maintain throughout the season, off season here until we head into week 1 and maybe a little beyond. Who knows? I don't know. So as always, I may not have my personal champion here, Travis D. Holmes, but he will show you appreciation for subbing in as my champion with your comments and support. So thank you for that. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Check out my writings with the Fans First Sports Network, covering the Orlando Magic and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, my work with the Black and Gold Banneret and Night Shift YouTube channel, the Night Shift podcast on the YouTube channel there, of course. Make sure you like and subscribe those various items as well. And hey, the Believe Network doing their part to support what we're doing here in the podosphere as well. I don't know if that's a noun, but it is now. So anyways, make sure you like and subscribe. The Duval dive and do the thing. But for my absentee personal champion, Travis D. Holmes, this is Kyle Nash, to do the game. Until next time, everyone, class. This